actually want to talk about something so much more important than Red Dead Online: sexism in gaming.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 video game controversies of 2022. For this list, we're looking at the various events that shook the game industry throughout the year 2022. Which of these surprised you the most? Was the outrage justified? Let us know down in the comments. Number 10. Streaming is the way of a dead future.
What exactly is Stadia? We've got you covered.
Over the last few years, big tech corporations have tried to convince us that streaming is the ultimate way of the future and that we don't want plastic boxes in our homes. Google was among the first to start this aggressive push with Stadia back in 2019. Despite a tumultuous launch, the platform admittedly did get better over time in terms of performance. But did we really want to pay for access to this thing on top of having to pay for games we already owned on other platforms? Nope. So to see Google announce Stadia's closure in September 2022 was anything but surprising. Unfortunately, many developers found out about this at the same time the public did, forcing everyone to go into overdrive and help migrate Stadia players to other platforms. Number 9. Trapped in a blizzard.
Prepare for battle. Select your hero.
Ever since their massive wave of lawsuits towards the end of summer 2021, Blizzard seems to be on a tirade to burn all bridges with its player base. Activision's other half has pulled all kinds of shady business practices in 2022. Where do we begin? First, we had Diablo Immortal's launch when players slowly discovered the game's pay-to-win mechanics. Then they acquired Proletariat, the developers of the free-to-play shooter Spellbreak, and delegated the studio to solely work on World of Warcraft. Next came the shutdown of 2016's Overwatch and forcing the entire player base over to the underwhelming and unnecessary Overwatch 2, along with the failure of delivering a PvE story mode as originally promised. Needless to say, Blizzard has seen way better days. Number 8. A brand dead twice.
I don't really miss Kevin when he's gone. And that was...
sorry about that.
Yeah, no.
The resurrection of G4 was already questionable, as the brand had not been around since 2014. One launch in November 2021, and an estimated $20 to $30 million burned later, and G4 is once again dead. So many factors chalked up to its inevitable demise, from a questionable rant from Indiana Frost Black that attacked the audience and was allegedly doctored during editing, to the network's constant pivot to odd segments like pickleball. G4 was on a constant decline before it initiated layoffs in September 2022. It wasn't long after that an email leaked to Deadline, revealing that G4 was no more as of October 16, 2022. The skeleton crew that remained did not know they had lost their jobs until after the leak had been made. To call this a disaster and cash grab nostalgia would be an understatement.
If you don't like it, don't watch it. Peace!
Number 7. It's all in the frame.
With the ongoing spree of homicides and kidnappings across the city, police are now urging citizens to remain indoors.
October 2022 saw the gaming industry, media, and community in a frenzy as we approached the launch dates for Gotham Knights and A Plague Tale: Requiem. Upon learning about the games only running at 30 frames per second on modern hardware, many took to social media to voice their outrage. However, for every person that was demanding 60 frames and only 60 frames, there was another stating their acceptance and apathy towards the difference in frames. No matter which side of the coin you fall on, this wave of conflict will most likely become a selling point for other games as we enter 2023 and beyond. Number 6. A fractured ecosystem.
I reckon it's got something to do with that girl.
It's got everything to do with that little girl.
Blizzard Entertainment is not the only video game corporation facing public image problems. PlayStation has been actively chasing players away across the board. Earlier this year, Sony manipulated an upgrade path for Horizon Forbidden West, which we'll dive into more in a minute. Then, the conglomerate raised prices for the PlayStation 5 consoles in several regions across the globe, except for North America. The PlayStation Plus revamp was deemed a scam by premium members due to Sony's drip feed of content for that tier. And now, it looks as though Sony wants to remake games from the PlayStation 4 generation with The Last of Us and Horizon Zero Dawn. Arrogant Sony is back and in full force. Number 5. Forbidden Purchase. As a means to mitigate outrage over PS5 exclusives becoming cross-gen titles, Sony offered players upgrade paths for certain games. If you buy the PS4 or PS5 version, you get the other version for free. However, the company tried getting out of this promise with Horizon Forbidden West. As shown by attorney Richard Hogue of the Hogue Law Firm, Sony put up a store page for the game that prominently displayed the $70 PS5-only version. The option to buy the cross-gen package for $60 was thoroughly buried at the bottom of the store page underneath the marketing, blurbs, and promo pages. And to make the situation even more sketchy, Sony did not allow the cross-gen version to be available for purchase through the PS5 storefront. Not exactly a smart delivery for a much-anticipated game. Number 4. Tell us lies, tell us ugly lies.
Bad boy.
In the weeks leading up to Bayonetta 3's launch, the internet was thrown into a frenzy after Helena Taylor, the original voice actress for Bayonetta, made a series of allegations towards developer Platinum Games. According to her, she was only offered $4,000 to reprise her role for Bayonetta 3, thus prompting her to call on fans to boycott the games and scrutinize Bayonetta's new voice actress, Jennifer Hale. However, sources of Bloomberg and Video Games Chronicle would clarify that she was offered $4,000 to $5,000 per recording session for a total of $15,000, with an allegedly separate offer for $4,000 just to cameo as Bayonetta in a separate game. Taylor did confirm that she was offered more than what she originally stated, but also claims the sources were lies and asked fans to donate money to questionable charities instead of buying the game. Number 3. It's cuffing season. Throughout 2022, it seemed as though companies were getting bought up left and right, most notably from questionable parties. Tencent, which is operated by members of the Chinese Communist Party and veils themselves as games publisher Level Infinite, acquired 3 studios and bought large stakes in Ubisoft and From Software, while hiring former Assassin's Creed director Ashraf Ismail and former PlayStation executive Sean Layden. Netflix also acquired 3 studios for their Netflix Games initiative, bringing them to a total of 6 in-house gaming studios. Sony bought Destiny and former Halo studio Bungie, as well as Haven Studios, who has yet to put out a game. Chinese gaming enterprise NetEase acquired Quantic Dream, while Saudi Arabia claimed massive stakes in Capcom, Embracer Group, Nintendo, and almost all of SNK. Know who is getting your money, folks. Number 2. Dramatic corporations.
We don't get to sit one out. Learning to use the tools of modern warfare is the difference between the prospering of your people and utter destruction.
Of course, the biggest acquisition that happened in 2022 was Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard King. Between commentary from pundits and concerns from credible analysts, this $69 billion deal has shaken up the industry in such a way that even head of Xbox Phil Spencer and Sony Interactive Entertainment president Jim Ryan have made their beef public, and it all stems from the possibility of Call of Duty becoming an Xbox exclusive IP. On one hand, you have Spencer telling regulators that doing so would cost Microsoft money and PR. On the other, you have Jim Ryan claiming that PlayStation cannot compete with Call of Duty, despite Sony owning several dormant shooter IPs and complaining about exclusivity while his company announces PlayStation exclusives week after week. At the time of writing, the deal has not yet been closed, but regulators like the CMA are at odds with one another.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. The War in Ukraine. When Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022, it seemed as if the world stopped in fear. The actions of President Vladimir Putin have cost countless lives, and it has affected not just video games, but every other market across the globe. Companies located in or around Ukraine were forced to cease operations and relocate staff. Unfortunately, the people of Ukraine have lost offices, parks, historic landmarks, and homes as a result of Russia's invasion. This tragedy prompted many organizations across the video game space to actively promote charities like the Ukraine Relief Funds, with some studios going as far to donate all proceeds within certain windows. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.